Good morning. Nope. Good morning. Guess who's from the US? All right, so good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Okay, that's fine. So, who's excited about AI? Okay. We can do this. So, so Roy did, he said some amazing things about AI. So I'm just going to reiterate pretty much everything that he said, and I'm also here to fulfill your largest generative AI dreams. Okay, hopefully that's the plan. Now, before we get started, so you notice I'm walking around quite a lot. Who has seen me deliver a talk before? One. You definitely know what's coming, right? Okay, so what I'm going to start with, as you think, yes. Who has heard about this paradigm? Fresh body, fit mind. A few of you. Okay, so for those of you who haven't, what this means is that in order for your brain to function correctly, get those brain juices flowing, you're supposed to do some exercise, right? Now, because, this is the third talk, we are going to exercise, so let's all stand up. So I always find it hilarious because I always just see all of your faces, right? You don't see other people behind you, and there are some people like, yes. Others are like, oh, for fun. So, what we're going to do, the exercise is going to be really simple, okay? So I'm going to show you my back, so apologies for that. So all you need to do is raise up your arms so that your elbow is in line with your eyes. Yeah, elbow is in line with your eyes, yeah? Open up your palms, okay? And then put them together repeatedly, very loudly. Yep. All right. Just for some people that still are not aware of what's going on, okay? So I'm going to change to is this working? I did press the button and it's green. Okay, can you hear me fine? Do I switch this off? I'll give this to you. So thank you for the standing ovation. I usually say this, but I'm going to say this again. So what happens with these pictures, right? I collect them, send it to my boss, and hope for a pay rise, right? But I've been doing this for years now. He doesn't understand what is the thing that I'm saying that gets people to stand up and clap, right? So there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to talk to you about is pretty much generative AI in the context of media on the web. Okay, so obviously, a lot of websites, let's just get rid of James here, because he's very annoying now. So essentially, most of the websites that you use and you visit have some media assets on it, right? Whether that's images and videos, that's not, is given, right? So visual experiences are key when it comes to delivering a website that is engaging to your audiences, okay? So just a quick question, who here has ever created a website that has 0 images? Okay, 2. You did. Why are you? You didn't. You did. I know you did. Cool. Which is good. So essentially, visual media it can be a competitive advantage, right? How you present your images, how fast your images load, are all going to be driving forces if people are going to buy your products. Whether they're going to come back to your website, and all the effort that Google is doing in terms of the core web vitals and largest contentful paint is also reinforcing this. Now, the other aspect of this is, looking at the performance of your visual media assets. It's not only about how well or how optimized your images is, whether you use AVIFs and WebP and other formats, but also how fast you can launch new products, how fast you can go to market with whatever it is that you're doing, right? And also the speed of that does matter, okay? Now, I don't know, this is completely irrelevant, but I don't know how many of you have noticed that if you go to YouTube, all these videos by these influencers are just faster, right? It almost feels like they just talk really fast. So everything is faster, right? So the faster you can get things done, the better. Now, at Cloudinary, so I work for Cloudinary, I didn't say that, but I think that's obvious because of the logo on the slide. But essentially, we have the, who uses Cloudinary? Oh my God. Has work to be done in Singapore. Okay, so Cloudinary, what do we do? I will tell that to you in just a moment. So we take your images and videos, you can upload it to our platform, which is a cloud-based platform. You get an access URL, and then you can now optimize, transform, and deliver those media assets, images and videos, okay? And because of this, we also have access to all this image data and all our customers who are delivering these images. We started to put together some reports. Now, in one of the reports, we found that between 2019 and 2022, the image bandwidth, and these are Cloudinary resources, and we're talking nearly 200 billion requests per month, grew by 25%, and for video, the traffic, especially for retail and e-commerce, grew by about 37%, right? So there's a lot of people delivering engaging visual assets via Cloudinary. E-commerce also changed from being like, hey, let's just create a website, let's put some products there, to become an epic scale machine, right? There's so many things that Shopify is doing. Maybe I shouldn't mention that company now, but there's a lot of work that Shopify is doing. A lot of people join Shopify. It's all about how do you scale e-commerce solutions. And of course, there's this new thing which I'm not going to get into because there's should be a separate talk, but hopefully some of you have heard about this term composable architecture, Mac Alliance. So if you look up Netlify, which is a company that I'm sure you're all aware, they're all about composable everything these days. Okay, so just check that. But essentially the point is, and this is kind of piggybacking on what Roy was saying about AI, is thinking about can AI help? Can AI help you be more productive? The answer is, of course, it can if you know what you're doing, but then how does it apply to a setting where you work with visual media assets? How does that work with videos? How does it work with images? And that is what we're going to talk about. Because essentially, what I'm trying to prove to you now is that AI-based things, AI-based transformations, and there's a couple of features that I'm going to show you here, are going to make your life easier, okay? So the question is, what can you do to help as a developer in a world where everyone wants to go to market really fast, but there's also the demand where everything has to be performant, has to be, done at an epic scale. So we're going to start with image transformations. And the very first thing I'm going to talk to you about is the generative background fill, okay? So generative background fill is one of the very latest features that Cloudinary has launched, and we're going to use this wonderful lady as our example. So let's say that this is your product image, okay? So this is, you're selling the shirt or the shorts, and hopefully not the lady, but you never know. But essentially, this is your image. And now you would ask, okay, make this a hero image. Make this image to be 1,500 pixels wide. So what do you do? Well, the best you can do is to actually generate an image that's, that size, and you maybe fill the background with the predominant color from the picture, okay? And this is, it's okay, it's not great, but now you have created a hero image. Now, what if you could do this, right? This is a lot better, and this is exactly what the Cloudinary generative background fill does, okay? So it basically allows you to scale any image into any dimension by replicating whatever is there in the background, right? So you can basically resize images without having to add either a white or just a single colored padding around it. Okay, so this is the source code for that, or the syntax for that. This is using the JavaScript SDK, and then there's all the resizing and everything else, but the key is in the background method where you specified gen fill. So gen_fill is going to do the generative background fill. Pretty cool, if you ask me. So, generative background, check. Generative replace. So, what is generative replace? So, in the world of Cloudinary, and again, we're focusing on images mostly here, generative replace really means two things. You can either replace a color, or you can replace an object or something within the picture itself. Okay, so this is going to be our baseline image again. The guy looks a little bit grumpy. I'm not sure why that is, but regardless, let's say you're selling this, right? You're selling the suit. Or you want to use this image on a different page where the colors don't necessarily match the suit. And you want to say, okay, wouldn't it be nice if the guy would be wearing like a dark brown suit? So you just use color replace to achieve this result. Or if you say, well, actually, you know what, that's not good enough. Let's make the guy look a little bit happy. Let's just change the tie to pink, right? So, he's now looking a little bit more jolly. So you can basically change the picture, and this is using color replace, to kind of match the look and feel of what you're trying to do. And also, technically, this should allow you to not to have multiple product shots, right? Because what if you sell a t-shirt that is white, red, blue, you have multiple colors of that, you can just use this to take one picture and then keep on replacing the color. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So for this one, you have to do this with what we call a row transformation by adding the add transformation method, which basically says, do the generative recoloring, find the jacket, and then toColor is going to be the color that you want to use. Okay, so you're recoloring the jacket to be brown. So this is the color replace, but then there's also another type of replace, which is you have one picture, and then you say, okay, that's not healthy enough. Let's get rid of the cookies and use an avocado, because we're all about health and fitness, as I kind of showed you why it's important, right? So then, you can do this. Or you could go, completely different and say, you know what, this is not fitting the design that I'm doing, so let's just have a coffee mug, right? So this is using generative replace. Again, you can see syntax is on another slide. So this is how the syntax looks like, where you say, replace the cookies to, and then whatever else you want to use. Okay, so in this case, the example shows a coffee mug. Now, why is this useful? Well, imagine that you have a picture of this wonderfully handsome speaker of yours, and now, oh, that's me, hang on. So now what you want to do is, maybe you want to use this in a marketing material, which I hope they will not, and then obviously there's the Apple logo. You don't necessarily want to do that, so what you do, well, you just tell AI to, hey, remove that, okay? And now you end up with this same image, but you can now confidently put this on any of your marketing material without having Apple breathe down your neck, probably. Okay, so this is again using generative remove, where you say, what is the thing that you want to remove? And the prompt was just find the Apple logo and remove that. Now, for a bit of fun, a handsome speaker can become even better, okay? I know I don't dress well, but I can make myself look very professional. And then let's all forget that everyone here, audience and speakers, we are all, okay? Just saying, okay? This is AI. I didn't Photoshop that, I promise, okay? Right, so image capturing, right? So here's a question for you. How many of you genuinely add meaningful alt text to your images? Yeah, about like 10. So what if you could now automate that, right? What if you could now have all these images and just have AI describe what's on the image and then use that text to put it as an alt text, right? Again, completely automating this for the sake of accessibility. And here are, again, two examples. One you saw with the cookies, and here's another one where the text basically comes back from a captioning algorithm. Okay, so the way that works is slightly different. So this is now showing not the JavaScript SDK, but the Node.js SDK, just to simplify the upload. So when you do an upload programmatically to Cloudinary, you can now pass an option that says detection captioning, and when you get the response from the uploader, which is basically all the information about the image, metadata and whatnot, you are now getting a detection object as well, which says, in this case, the sun is setting over the water, yada, 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 which now you can use as alt text for your images. Okay, so upscaling. This is, again, very cool, right? So upscaling to super resolution. So what does it mean? So let's imagine you have this original image. This is the size of the image. And for whatever reason, you want to put this image into a container, which is about 4 times larger, or you want to scale this image up, okay? And natively, you can do that. You can do it in CSS. You can do it whatever way you want to. You can do this with Cloudinary as well. So you say, resize scale width is 4x, essentially. And then you're going to end up having this, and hopefully you see that this is ugly, right? This is now pixelated, lots of visual artifacts and defects, really not good. So now, this was launched, I think, last week. You can do a transformation, which is called an upscale effect, which is basically going to use AI again to repaint the image at a super resolution. Okay, so this is now the very small image scaled up to a 4-time resolution and corrected and upscaled using AI. Now, I did mention that Cloudinary not only does images, but we also do videos. So I have a couple of examples, and I just call them the honorable mention video. So we're not going to play this, but imagine you have a video, and you can check the URL later. This is a video that I've done. Okay, this is about 1 minute and 49 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, where I'm just like, diving, and there's going to be a couple of sharks and other things that come along. Now, what if you have lots of such videos, and your goal is to maybe show a preview or show a shorter version of the video that captures the essence of the video itself. So let's wait for the first shark. Did it appear already? Okay, so fish. Where's my shark? Shark. Come on, shark. Sharky, sharky. Baby shark, mommy shark. You can tell I have a son, right? There it is. Okay, so there's a shark, and there's, later on around like the 1 minute 30-second mark, there's going to be another one. So what if I tell you that you can now ask Cloudinary to say, look at the video and give me a preview, which is 15 seconds, and you decide, based on, again, various AI features, what is, in essence, the most important part of the video. Okay? Now, we are going to play this because it's only 15 seconds, so this is what AI came up with. Okay, so some fish. Then we get shark number 1. Then I think some more fish. And then, shark number 2. Okay? And I didn't edit this. I just let Cloudinary to do this on its own. And then the last thing I'll show you, and then break time. So imagine you have this video again where, a couple of ladies are playing football. Okay? So they're passing the ball around, and, this is all great and jolly good. But now you want to crop this video. You want to create, say, a much smaller version of it, say 305 pixels height. Now, if you crop it, an automatic crop, or any crop, would essentially focus on the center of the picture, or in this case, the video. That's not what you want, because what you will end up having is just the grass, right? There's nothing happening in there. So what you can do, you can actually tell Cloudinary to, hey, look at the video, focus on the ball, and create the crop by following the object that I'm specifying here. Okay? So the end result of the video is going to look like this. Okay? So the crop is at all times going to just follow the ball in action. Okay? So, a lot of examples, right? But essentially think about the use cases and the things that all of these features enable you to do, right? So there's, of course, productivity to start things off, right? There's the whole developer experience, user experience, customer experience. There's the accessibility angle whereby, you can just get all these old images. So essentially, and again, loving Roy's kind of intro to this, but using these AI features should allow you to have much better workflows, much easier workflows, and allow you to focus on the application creation as opposed to, going into Photoshop or asking your designer to do something. And, essentially it's going to give you less complication in life or in your development journey. At least, fingers crossed, and that's what we're hoping for. And of course, what I'm not saying here, so for those of you who know Cloudinary, with all the optimization and all the basic transformations features that we have, everything that I showed you now is just a layer on top of that, right? So now, if you want to recolor someone's jacket or I don't know, replace a cookie with an avocado, you can do that. Plus, you can ask Cloudinary to deliver that image in the most optimal way. So you could say, hey, deliver this as an AVIF, as a WebP, crop it down from, the original size to say 400 by 400. And then all the other features are there, but then now we complement everything with these various generative AI and other AI features. So, it will take a second, but you will see it. So, this is Mothership, right? Singapore's most beloved news portal. For those of you not from here, it's not, okay? So they started to use generative AI to sort of, add images to their posts. So the very first thing that you will notice is, hey, the guy's thumb looks funny, and then you realize he has 6 fingers. Okay? How many did you notice that? It's tricky, right? So yeah, the guy has 6 fingers. So this is a proper screenshot from the website. So I'm going to say, do use AI, because it will help you, but be mindful of some of its limitations. Now, one of the limitations of generative AI is the fact that it has a lot of trouble generating hands. Okay? You can actually Google this. There's been some research done on why this is. But any time when there are hands involved, generative AI is failing epically, okay? Mothership did not... Anyone works for Mothership here, by the way? Just before I say what I want to say, okay. 6 what? But you don't work for Mothership, so I don't get it. But anyway, so just be mindful about, just double check what you're doing, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so a couple of references. You can take a look at all these, release notes and blog posts from Cloudinary. We also have a booth out there where I have my wonderful colleagues. We have lots of stickers and unicorns and a lot of stuff for you to have. So do come and chat with us as well. And with that, thank you very much for listening.